I was going to do a little turning the tide of war on Okinawa, but it couldn't get uploaded. There's so many issues with all this awesome technology. Oh, we're so technologically advanced. Oh my God, AI might take over the universe, and I can't even seem to get a video uploaded to YouTube. So forgive me for not believing in that AI bullshit. It's going to become smarter than us. Well, a rock is almost smarter than us. Not Iraq, a rock. A, a dandelion is about damn near smarter than we are for what it doesn't do. My dog is smarter than the leading physicist in the world. I can guarantee I could prove it too. So I've been thinking about critical race theory. I'm not in school anymore, but I kind of wish I was, so they could try to teach me that stuff. I kind of want them to come around and find some reason to teach me critical race theory. Because I don't know where all the real Americans are at, or all the actual men and women, to stand up to that nonsense. But I would be more than happy to go in there and listen to what they have to say and and interrupt them. Because they're so full of shit, you know. Interrupt them and turn the tables on them and let them know that they're the racists. That would be a fun experience. Now, they're probably going to try to couch their lessons in the fact that you have to pass this class, or we're going to insert this into like a drunk driving course. So in order for you to get your license back, you have to acquiesce to the critical race theory. Or we're going to train the police how to be transsexuals, and they'll fire you if you don't go to the training. You're like, great. You know, I've been reading this Turning the Tide of War book, and thinking about the caliber of person that you needed to defeat the Nazis or the Japanese. You know, when you look at like the British, when the Nazis were bombing the British, bombing the shit out of the British got up and went to work the next day. It was no like, oh my God, hide in your house and put a mask on. It was like, no, we're gonna go back to work. In the middle of bombing campaigns from the Nazis, the British are like, we can still work, we can do this, let's go. And they did. No, not everybody could go back to work back then. But there were people that did. And when you look at people today, everybody's so scared. They're so scared of what somebody might say or think or do. Not me. I was never like that. I was never like that. I never gave a shit about anything but what I thought was right. You know what I mean? And if I learned that I was wrong about something, I'd begrudgingly change my mind. But this critical race theory is so far gone and so stupid that everything's racist. I heard Jesus was racist the other day. Jesus is racist, huh? Well, isn't it funny when you look at Catholicism? Let's just say let's just say Christianity. It's everywhere. You have, just in the Catholic Church, you have like Filipino Mass, you have like Irish people, you have, South Americans. Oh, so Jesus was a racist. So you're going to turn around to like Christianity when apparently this guy is a pastor, but he's like a La Raza guy or something, and say Jesus is racist, and it's like, you're an asshole. Sorry, pal, but yo, an asshole. But he has this lisp, this guy. I can't remember his name, but he's like, well, shouldn't you say you're sorry? And it's like, no, I don't think I should say I'm sorry. I'm not sorry about your lisp. But the whole thing is I come from that era of I'll get mean with you. I'll become belligerent, If you try to feed me bullshit, I'll throw a plate right in your face and stab you with the fork. And, that's why I heard about Steven Crowder getting banned. And I'm not a huge fan of Steven Crowder. I don't like him personally. It might not be him, it might be the persona that he puts on the show, but I don't like it. Okay? Well, he got banned, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm tired of this shit from people like Steven Crowder. I mean, he's not bad with it, but he's obviously being targeted and being banned and shit. And it's like, I said this when Joe Rogan did Spotify. I was like, well, now I'm not going to watch Joe Rogan anymore because he's not going to be on YouTube for free, and I'm not going to go to Spotify and listen. I kept thinking, why didn't Joe Rogan make his own website and pimp his website? He's got the clout. People know who he is. He could say, go to JoeRoganPodcast.com and start doing that. And a couple of people have actually done that. Like there's that one guy from Timcast who made his own website. And he's like promoting his own website outside of YouTube. Because he made a good point recently. He said that these terms of service aren't terms of service. They're editorial policy that they're shoving on creators. They're saying that creators can create anything they want, but they can't talk about this. They can't mention this name. They can't bring up this subject. They can't talk about that. And it's like, that's an editorial decision that YouTube is making. So good, right. So I've subscribed to the dude's website for $10 because it's a great idea. So Steven Crowder should do the thing, and it should make the switch too to his website, but put out content that isn't pussified anymore. Put out better content than what YouTube allows you to put out. Say the names. State exactly what it is that you're talking about so you don't have to, beat around the bush and walk on eggshells. And on top of that, pour gasoline on the fire of what you would have said anyways. It's like, oh, you've been sitting there kowtowing to YouTube. Okay, I won't say this, I won't say that. Go back to your website, pimp your website. Don't even use YouTube. Get off of YouTube, right? The only reason I use YouTube is to piss them off. That's it. Because I know that they monitor everybody, and they're little pricks and faggots, and they monitor everybody, and they want to make sure that nobody says anything against a Sumerian woman from 2,000 years ago in the Bible that Jesus, and to prove Jesus is a racist or whatever it is. And it's like, hey, I'm sure they've got me shadow banned or whatever, but they're far more afraid of me than I am of them. And that's the way it should stay. The neo-radical, communist, critical race theory Marxists, anarchist Marxist communists are scared people. They're scared of me. And it's funny because I threaten that whole group. I'm one of those people. I threaten their entire group's existence. Just by one guy just walking around, thinking freely, using history that I've lived through and I've read about, that I've confirmed from different sources as a foundation and building block about what to do and what not to do. Walking around threatening their whole fucking existence. If I had a voice, do you think I'd change? YouTube would boot me in a second if I got a view. So I'm going to go to mugclub.com with Steven Crowder, even though I don't like the guy, and I'm buying a mug.